Welcome back! So you've elected to continue the adventure using brawn, huh? Well, to be honest, this is probably my least favorite of the three paths, mainly just because it doesn't really have much to offer and the fighting in this game is really annoying. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. But it is a rather interesting one to check out and has a few things that are unique to it.
I'd rather go into action by myself.
Are you absolutely sure?
Now, if you go with one of the two options that's not the recommended option that Sophia suggests to you, then she'll ask you, are you sure? In our case, with the Wits path, she doesn't ask that if I choose that path just because that's what she recommended.
Yes, I'm sure. I want action.
Okay, if that's how you feel, I won't try to stop you.
Take care of yourself, and don't talk to any strange Nazis.
So long, Indy.
Farewell, Sophia. Alright, so we can choose to either go to Algiers to see Omar Al-Jabbar, or to Monte Carlo to see Trottier. And I'm actually going to go to Monte Carlo first. Now, before we do anything, I'm going to read Plato's Lost Dialogue, because we'll need some information in it here in just a minute. The Hermocrates. Now at last I have Plato's Lost Dialogue translated entirely. The Greek original is lost, so I've used the Arabic text I found in an Italian monastery years ago, and always thought was a hoax. Now I wonder, could this remarkable book hold the secret to long-lost Atlantis? Probably not. No one will publish it, that's certain. The fear of ridicule is too great. To be safe, I've sent a copy to Ward. Charles Sternhardt, London, 1922. Hermocrates, in shame I hereby do recant the time and place whereof Critias spoke. In rendering Egyptian into Greek, he made a tenfold error. Instead of lying 3,000 miles hence, Atlantis may well have been 30,000 miles away, or perhaps it was less than 300 miles from our own shores. Likewise, it may be that the Lost Kingdom held sway as many as 100,000 years ago, or as few as 1,000. Socrates. If a kingdom arose on Earth beyond anywhere men might travel, then we would never hear of it. We ought to accept the lesser figure. So glorious Atlantis founded two colonies, the lesser 180 miles northwest of the city and the greater 630 miles away southeast. Gates of the kingdom opened only with the aid of special stones. At many outposts, a sunstone sufficed, if hot sunlight bathed in the tall horns. At the greater colony, a moonstone was also needed, with the noon sun riding above the full moon. To approach Atlantis itself, a world stone was required as well, with darkness ruling the old city without challenge. Final entrance yielded only to contrary minds. And it is said that dwellers in Atlantis had no horses nor any need of them. Orichalcum, the metal that glittered like fire, this they had instead. They cast it into shiny beads and used them as we do minted coins, paying statues to do their work as if by magic. When their colonies were failing, wise men carved strange devices out of amber to search for the metal, but only proud Atlantis ever yielded a supply. Socrates. You have called the kingdom wealthy, but surely this is absurd. As the waters rose around their city, the kings of Atlantis, one after another, sought off to hold off fate. Knowing mortal men would never rule the sea, they planned a huge colossus, which by use of orichalcum, 10 beads at a time, would make them like the gods themselves. Nur-Ab-Sal was one such king. He it was, say the wise men of Egypt, who first put men in the colossus, making many freaks of nature at times when the celestial spheres were well aligned. Socrates. This I doubt. We are hearing a child's tale. Could be, but I don't know. The evidence is beginning to suggest otherwise, isn't it? At any rate, we found out more information about the tenfold error that we were talking about in the last video, as well as some interesting information about orichalcum and what it was used for. But now we need to find out Mr. Trottier.
Just a moment, please.
See if this guy knows anything.
Are you Alan Trottier?
No, I'm not.
If you ask that question to people who are not Trottier, you'll get that response.
Excuse me.
So you really need to ask this question.
Can you tell me where to find Monsieur Trottier?
Sorry, no.
Some people won't know, and then there will be some people who will be able to give you clues.
Hey there. Can you tell me where to find Monsieur Trottier?
Sorry, no.
Excuse me.
Yeah, this may take a little while.
Can you tell me where to find Monsieur Trottier?
Non, désolé. Look for a man in a brown suit.
Brown suit, huh?
Hey there. Can you tell me where to find Monsieur Trottier?
I'm sorry, I can't.
Alright. From now on, let's narrow it down to only people in brown suits. This guy fits the bill.
Hey there. Can you tell me where to find Monsieur Trottier? Possibly. Who wants to know?
This is Monsieur Trottier. And when you talk to him, you need to be as nice as possible, otherwise he will dismiss you.
I'm Dr. Indiana Jones of Barnett College. Jones. I believe I've heard of you. Yes, of course, the famous archaeologist. That's me. And I am Trottier. Amateur scholar, part-time poet, professional dreamer. What can you tell me about Atlantis? Oh, that depends. To prove you're worth dealing with, answer me this. When were the many freaks of nature created?
This is one of many questions that he could ask you. Well, it may not be many, I think there's just only a few, but the answer will always be in the Lost Dialogue. And it's randomly generated every time you play the game. This is one of them. There's another one about why was the Colossus built. There may be a few others, but the answer to this one is when the celestial spheres were well aligned. If you get it wrong, then he will just dismiss you, and then you'll have to read the dialogue and try again. But thankfully, you can actually try again.
When the celestial spheres were well aligned. Yes, excellent. Obviously, you know Plato's Lost Dialogue well. Personally, I doubt I can help you, but my name is recognized among dealers in antiquity. Maybe my business card will be of some use to you. And now, au revoir.
Alright, that's all we're going to do in Monte Carlo on this path. So let's say goodbye.
Driver, to the airport.
And move on to Algiers. Let's see if we can find Mr. Al-Jabbar here.
Hello there.
Ah, a prosperous American.
See the marketplace in old Algiers.
Do you know where Omar Al-Jabbar lives?
Omar is one of my best customers. Alas, his address is known to few men.
You ever hear of Atlantis, old man?
Atlantis. Atlantis. No.
What are you doing here on the streets?
I'm a beggar, Effendi. It is my job to be here. Now, let me get back to work, please.
Alright.
I don't want to disturb them. They look kind of busy.
They kind of look like they're talking to each other, but they're like frozen. Nothing to see over there. Let's check this path. A back alley. Let's see where that leads. Aha, there's a souvenir shop here.
Excuse me.
How can I help you, Effendi?
Are you Omar?
You mean Mr. Al-Jabbar? That is an also good one, Effendi. I'm his trusted servant, Paul Abdul.
Can you arrange a meeting with Mr. Al-Jabbar?
I suppose I could, Effendi, but my master rarely deals with clients in person. Why should I bother him?
I've got something to sell.
Doesn't everyone? You'll have to give me a better reason than that.
No matter what reason you give him, he's always going to turn you down. But what you really need is Mr. Trottier's business card. If you didn't get this, then you'd have to go back to Monte Carlo and pick it up before you make any progress here at all.
Excuse me.
Yes?
I think this may interest you.
Ah, the business card of Monsieur Trottier. That's different. Perhaps Mr. Al-Jabbar will desire to speak with you. Wait here until I get back.
No matter what, though, he will not come back unless you go out and then come back again, I believe. And there's actually nothing here that would really help us out at all. Additionally, if you were to keep asking him to find Mr. Al-Jabbar for you, then he'll always give you the same answer, and he will say that Mr. Al-Jabbar is just too busy. So let's try following him instead. What does help us here is that he's wearing a fez, which will make him easy to spot in the crowds, and it looks like he's heading that way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoops, I did not mean to go back here. Okay, he's the little red dot there. I don't know if it's visible in the video or not, but it's very hard to tell where he's at unless you're really watching carefully. And I think you have to avoid bumping into him or else he'll, come on. You'll have to start all over with this again. And it'll take even longer for him to duck inside the house.
The servant's ducking into that house.
Great. Just what we need.
Time is running out.
Uh-oh.
You've come to the wrong place.
I'm getting impatient.
Looks like
Never.
this Nazi has cornered them,
Tell
but
me
he doesn't know
more
we're
or
here.
die.
Oops.
Achtung!
Whoops.
And
So,
now
Dr. Jones, you fell right into my trap.
we have to fight him, which involves basically just clicking over and over again. Yeah. This is kind of annoying. You can also use the keyboard too, but honestly, this is, I think, a little bit better. Oh, come on, it's gonna be close. Whew.
Thank you for saving me from that infidel. What's your name?
Indiana Jones.
Really? The famous archaeologist. What brings you to North Africa?
I heard you know something about Atlantis. I'm looking for it.
Take my advice, Doctor, and give up. There are men who will kill to stop you.
We've met a few of them.
You talking about Klaus Kerner?
You know the man, I see. He forced me to reveal the source of my Atlantean artifacts. He and his team are out in the desert, turning a modest discovery of mine into a major dig. They seem to have found an outpost of the Lost Kingdom, and they're stealing my treasures.
We might be interested in that dig.
Let me tackle him for you.
Would you? And if you find Kerner, that spawn of the Evil One, break his neck for me.
Believe me.
Now, since you saved my life, here's the map and a camel to speed you on your way. Meanwhile, Paul and I must alert the authorities.
We...
Wait, what map? Which camel?
We do have every intention of breaking Kerner's neck. Trust me. But now they're gone, we don't know what to do. We can look at the unconscious Nazi here, but that's not going to help in any way. There are some statues here, but these statues are specific to the Wit's Path, so they're not going to do us any good. There is, however...
Hey, this is no shirt, it's a map.
a map up here. Let's see if we can reach it.
I can't reach it.
If only there was something in this room that could help us. Maybe we can use the whip on it.
Right idea, wrong tool.
Yeah, that might not be such a good idea. But there is a stick over here.
It's a flimsy bamboo stick.
That should do, right?
It's just a piece of bamboo.
That may be true, but it might be useful in the right spot.
Oh, the stick broke, but I got the map.
Good, and that's also one less item in our inventory. Let's see, I don't believe there's anything else we can worry about, or we need to worry about here, so let's go ahead and get on the camel and head out to the desert in the next video.